Hi, my name is Aine McEntee, and today we speak to North Belfast solicitor Niall Murphy, who successfully defended Poglass man Chris Ward in the £26.5 million Northern Bank robbery. Okay, Niall, do you think the collapse of the case against Chris Ward is a milestone in legal history?
Yes, for many reasons. First of all, it's a case that was brought with absolutely no evidential premise, no facts, nothing to intimate that a prosecutorial decision could be sustained through to a judge making a decision that there could be a finding of guilt. But more than that, the fact that the case was aborted prior to the judge having to make the decision. The prosecution made the decision to abort their trial after half their evidence was called, perhaps not even half of their evidence, and in that sense it was a truly unique legal dispensation in the system that we have here.
On a more personal level, Niall, as Chris Ward's solicitor, has this case tested the personal strength of both Chris, his partner, and his wider family circle?
The trauma that the family went through, I don't think could be equated by a solicitor. Certainly I wouldn't even venture to assess the damage that they went through, not from the trial process, but I'll speak about the trial process, but the trauma that they suffered as victims of this crime. Anybody who was in court who witnessed the evidence of Chris Ward's father, Gerard, and how he was emotionally charged and devastated could not fail but to be persuaded as to the trauma that was inflicted upon the Ward family that night. For their son then to be seized from them, seized from his home, detained for 8 days, which is longer than any individual in the history of this jurisdiction was detained in any terrorism legislation, Castlereagh, Gulf Barracks. Nobody went beyond 7 days. Chris Ward was held for 8 days. He had a bail vociferously objected to by the Crown. He was remanded in custody at McEntee prison, an environment that he had never ever encountered in his life. The fear that and trauma that would instill in anybody before being put on a farcical trial process. He was remanded from month to month without any evidence being served. Once the evidence was served, my initial assessment was, Chris, I don't think there's any evidence here, but I can't preclude what rabbits they may try or attempt to pull. The wait for the trial, which did not occur for almost 3 years from his arrest, which is in itself untoward, brought with its own pressures. Chris's partner is now expecting her first child. He was fully expecting a further 2 months of trial, within which time period his partner would have given birth, and I can't begin to think what pressure that would have put on Chris, his family, his partner, and indeed the new baby. Go.
Niall, do you believe the Public Prosecution Service should review its processes?
The Public Prosecution Service's processes are probably legally accurate. However, the evidence and facts and political pressure that goes into that process are not being properly weighted, and I believe that the decision making process, as opposed to the process itself, needs to be affected. Kit Cheevers, the outgoing Criminal Justice Inspector, made remarks that would lead one to believe that there is a personnel issue as opposed to a process issue, and it's the personnel that needs to take a long hard look at itself in the decision making that they have undertaken in this case particularly.